morning. Today, before we begin our flow, I'm going to talk a little bit about boat pose. Boat pose is a really great core strengthener, and it also develops the muscles in your legs, strengthen the legs. But the best thing about boat pose is that it's one of the poses that if you stay in it long enough, your body starts to sort of shake a little bit because you're working so hard to keep that pose. And that shaking is actually something that helps release tension from your body, release trauma that's been stuck inside of your muscles for a long time. When you experience a traumatic event, your mind remembers it, or maybe sometimes the mind doesn't remember it and you forget about it. But what happens to your body is your mind releases certain hormones like cortisol, and those things go into your muscles to cause the physical reaction of fight or flight or freeze. So you're very frantic, you either want to run away, you want to fight with whoever, whatever is causing the trauma, or you sort of freeze and play dead, like a dead animal. And when your body shakes a lot, like in boat pose or in chair pose, it starts to release those things from your muscles. So it kind of helps you physically recover from trauma. So boat pose is actually a pretty difficult pose to hold for a long time, which is why your body starts to shake. And there's some different choices you can take in boat pose, some different options for how to keep your legs or your arms that can allow you to feel more comfortable and more in control in the pose. And then you can sort of progress through those different modifications to come to the traditional version of the pose when you reach that point. Basically, with boat pose, you're making a boat with your body. And you want to start by really stretching your back out. So you can just bring your hands together right in front of the knees. Take a deep breath in and stretch your spine really long. So this is just the first version of boat pose, the easiest one with your feet on the ground. You're just really stretching up that back, nice and long. And once you feel comfortable there, you can start to lift up the legs. Take your fingertips and tuck them inside the creases of both of your knees to help a little bit with balance. And then you shift your weight back, kind of on your sit bones, and float the feet up. You can stay here. This is the second version of the pose. Just keeping your hands inside those knees, legs raised up, leaning back a little bit. Or you can come even further into the pose and release your hands out to the sides. Now this is pretty difficult. My legs are working real hard. My core is working real hard, but there's still some more options. Last option is to straighten out the legs. Now you can have a wider boat pose, or you can come really close in. That one's really hard. And that one is very, very difficult to hold for a long time. So we also do a version of boat pose where we move with the breath through the pose. And sometimes moving with the breath is actually easier than holding a pose and holding still. In this case, I find it much easier to move with the breath, and it still strengthens all those core muscles. So if you want to do that moving with the breath, you can take some boat sit-ups. Boat sit-ups, you take a deep breath in, straighten out the legs and lean back, but you're not going to touch the ground. And as you exhale, come back into boat, bending your knees, bringing your chest back in. I usually do 5 boat sit-ups like that in a flow, but of course, you always have to respect your body and the needs of your body. So if we're doing boat sit-ups and you feel like you don't want to do 5 of them, that's always okay as well. So let's begin our flow today. We're going to start in Shavasana. On our backs, we've got lots of options here. You can take traditional Shavasana with your arms and legs flat on the ground. You can bring the soles of the feet together and have your knees open out wide to the sides. You can bring your legs into easy pose, tucking one set of toes inside the opposite knee and folding up your legs. You can bring the soles of your feet to the mat and have your knees gently fall in towards each other, opening out the feet just a little bit. You can even have a block here under your back if that feels good. Or if none of those options sound comfortable, you can always lay on your back, come into child's pose, or just find a seat. Just get really super comfortable wherever that is on your mat. If you're on your back, you can bring your chin into your chest and rock your head side to side just to make sure that your head is nice and comfortable, your neck isn't kinked up at all. And just let yourself sink into the ground here. Notice all the points of contact that your body makes with the earth. And relax into those points just a little bit more. Begin to call attention to your breath. At first, just notice. Notice what your breath is doing. Just observing. Feel your chest rising and falling with each inhale and exhale. Feel your back pushing against the ground as you breathe in. And a gentle release of pressure as you breathe out. Notice the temperature, the texture of the breath inside of your nose, the cool air on your inhales, and the warmth coming out on your exhales. And now start to find your yoga breath, your ujjayi breath, the ocean sounding breath. If it's accessible to you today, seal your lips, rest the tip of your tongue on the roof of the mouth just behind the teeth, and constrict your throat just a little bit, sort of as if you were fogging up a mirror with your lips closed, so that you can hear your breath in the back of your throat. Start to deepen and lengthen each breath. Let the sound of your breath fill your mind. So that all other thoughts are pushed away and your consciousness begins to come fully and completely into your body, here, now, at this moment, between the four corners of your mat. Notice the boundaries of the self. Bring your awareness to your skin, that border between you and the rest of the world, that which is not you. And start to do a body scan here. From the crown of your head, slowly work your way down through every single body part, one at a time. Notice how your face is feeling, your eyebrows, your forehead, your nose, your cheeks, your jaw. Move down to the back of the neck. Notice any tension you have there. Into the shoulders. A lot of us hold tension in the shoulders and the back. Move down through your arms, into your elbows, wrists, and fingers. And then down the spine to the upper, middle, and lower back. Into the hips. And through the legs. Knees, ankles, and toes. As you go through, just make a note of how you feel today. Notice anything that feels off, any sore spots, and remind yourself of any injuries you have, old or new, big or little, anything that might affect your ability to come into a pose today. Remember that every body is different. We're all a different shape. We all have our own unique histories that affect our abilities and a unique genetic makeup so that each body will always look different in every pose. And that's okay, as long as you're respecting your own edge, finding your edge in each pose and pulling back. And you'll guard yourself against injury. Remember that you can always take a break or modify any pose to make it right for you. Just making this practice your own. Take a few more deep, full breaths here, just being inside of your body. Blink your eyes open. Draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, lifting your forehead up to your knees. Curl into a little ball. Squeeze everything together. Release your head back down to the mat. Find your kneecaps with your hands and do some circles with the knees. Feel a nice little massage on the ground on your lower back. And find circles going the other way. Release your arms out wide in a T. Float your legs in a tabletop, 90 degrees in the knees and hips. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, dropping your knees down together all the way to the floor, to the right-hand side. Try to find a 90-degree angle in your knees and hips here. Right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the left knee to help your legs stay down. And bring your gaze over to your left hand to complete your twist. Release your right hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center everything in. Exhale, dropping them down towards the left, all the way to the ground, trying to keep that 90-degree angle in the knees and hips. Left fingers can tuck inside the crease of the right knee to help the legs stay down. And bring the gaze over to the right hand. Release your left hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. And then drop your feet down to the mat. Knees pointing straight up to the sky. Let's find 3 bridge poses with the breath. Bring your hands up overhead. On a breath in, rooting down through the feet. Lift your hips up towards the sky, pushing the belly up. Exhale, releasing back down to the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. 2 more times, inhaling to lift, stretching out the belly. Exhale, slowly releasing down, 1 vertebrae at a time, back to the mat. Last one, big breath in, push the hips up. Exhale, slowly release back down to the mat. Let's come into our supine pigeon pose. You can bring your hands back by your hips. Lift your right foot up. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. With your right hand, you can either push the right knee away, or you can reach your right hand in between your legs and left hand comes around the outside. Lift your foot up and release your fingers either outside the leg, or you can lift your left leg up and tuck your fingers inside the crease of the left knee and release them there if that feels better. And then pull your legs in towards your chest. Try to push the tailbone back down flat on the mat so you have opposite forces working on the hips here. Flex your toes to protect your knees. Release your feet back down to the mat and switch sides. Lift your left foot up. Left foot ankle crosses over the right knee. With your left hand, you've got those same options. You can push the left knee away, or you can reach your left hand in between the legs. And right arm comes around the outside, lifting the right foot up off the mat. Interlace your fingers outside of the leg or inside of the knee crease right there. And then pull your legs into the chest, pushing the tailbone back down flat on the mat, flexing the toes. Release your feet back down to the mat. Tuck your fingers inside the creases of both knees and rock and roll on your back a few times. Making your way into easy pose. If you have a block, you can always bring a block underneath your hips here and sit up on a block. Some people feel a little bit more comfortable in easy pose there. Easy pose is like sitting cross-legged. If it's accessible to you, try to open up your knees and your feet. So both knees are touching the ground with nothing overlapping, so you're not cutting off any circulation. But if that doesn't seem accessible, you can always just come into a regular cross-legged pose here. Inhale, lift your hands up high overhead. Exhale, folding over the feet, hinge from your hips. Try to keep your spine really long. Walk your fingertips out. And relax your forehead down towards the ground. Once you find your edge, round out through the back. On your next breath in, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest, float your hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, side stretch to the right. I'm mirroring you, so I'm doing the opposite side. Plant your right hand next to you. Walk your fingertips out and let your left arm come arcing overhead like a rainbow. Doesn't matter how far you get down here, just listen to your body. Find your edge. You can always pull back a little bit from the edge so you're not standing right at that edge, about to hurt yourself. Gaze can be down towards the ground or lifting that gaze up towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, lift your hands back up overhead. Exhale, stretching down towards the left. Plant your left hand down, walk your fingers out, and let your right arm come arcing overhead. Feel a nice stretch all along the right side of the body. On your next inhale, lift your hands back up to center. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Reach down and lift up your front leg, whichever leg is in front here. Cradle the leg with the arm on the same side. You can hold the heel with your hand and interlace your fingers in between the toes. Start to do some gentle circles with the ankle and the toes, just giving your foot a little bit of massage here, getting the blood flowing through the foot and the leg. And find circles going the opposite direction. Release your fingers out from your toes and just give your little foot a little massage there on the bottom of the foot with your fingers. Wiggle your toes around a little bit. And then release. Bring that foot back down to the mat. Switching sides, lift up whichever leg was in the back. Cradle the leg with the arm on the same side, holding that heel with your hand. Interlace your fingers in between the toes. And do some nice gentle circles here with the ankle and the toes. And find circles going the other way. Release your fingers from your toes and give your foot a little bit of a rub. Massaging the sole of the foot, wiggling the toes a little bit. Just get the blood flowing through that foot. And release. Bring that second foot down so it's in front now. Switching how your legs are crossed. They should be crossed the awkward way. Feels a little bit weird. One more time over the feet. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine really long as you go down. Once you find your edge, relax your head and neck down and round out through the back. This side might feel really different with that second awkward leg in front. Just respect the boundaries of your body. Wherever you end up is fine. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. Bring your hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, twisting around to the right. Right fingers come behind you. Left hand crosses over the right knee. Take a deep breath in, stretching the spine long. And go deeper into your twist as you breathe out. Come back to center, breathing in. Hands float up overhead. Exhale, twisting around to the left. Left fingers behind you. Right hand crosses over the left knee. Inhale, stretching the spine up really long. Exhale, going deeper into the twist. Maybe you want to bend those elbows a little bit. Come back up to center, breathing in. Hands float up. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Release your hands down to your lap and do some gentle circles with the neck. These can be big or small. faster or slower, whatever feels right this morning. And find circles going the other way. Once you've done the same number of circles on each side, bring your head back up to center. Start to make your way to your hands and knees tabletop. You can roll right over your knees or swing your legs around to the side. Bring your wrists right under the shoulders and the knees right under the hips. And then move through cat-cow. Inhale, belly drops down, roll the shoulders back, gaze comes up or forward. Exhale, rounding out through the spine, push your back up towards the ceiling, one vertebrae at a time. Relax your head and neck down and bring your gaze through your knees. Keep moving just like that. Inhale, lifting up your gaze. Exhale, tilting the pelvis down, one vertebrae at a time. Push your back up towards the ceiling and relax your head and neck down. Find your own rhythm. Try to stretch the breath out and lengthen your motion to match your breath. So you're in a constant slow motion here. Come back to a neutral spine. Let's come into thread the needle. Lift your right arm high. Take a deep breath in, stacking the shoulders. Stretch the fingers up. Exhale, send your right arm through underneath the left arm. Come to rest on the right shoulder and the right cheek. You can stay right here. You can drop your left elbow down to the mat. Stretch the left fingers out in front of you, getting a nice stretch through the left arm. You can also wrap your left hand back behind you, back up and over, reaching towards the right hip. Or if you want a little bit of an extra core challenge here, leave your left elbow where it was on the mat. Inhale, lifting your left foot high, push through the heel and flex the toes. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, release, drop your left knee back down to the mat. Unwind on a breath in, pushing through the left hand. Lift your right arm high. Give your wrist a couple turns. And set your right hand back down on the mat. Switching sides. Inhale, left arm comes high. Stack the shoulders. Exhale, send your left arm through underneath the right. Coming to rest on the left shoulder and the left cheek. You can stay right here. Release your right elbow down to the mat. Stretch your right fingers out in front of you. Or wrap the right hand back behind you, reaching towards the left hip. If you want that extra challenge, lift your right foot high, push through the heel and flex the toes. If you ever feel wobbly here, just release your right elbow back down to the mat. That'll help you stabilize. Take one last deep breath in here. Exhale, dropping the right knee back down to the mat. Bring the right hand next to the face. Unwind on a breath in, pushing through the right hand. Lift your left arm high. Give your wrist a couple turns. And set your left hand back down on the mat. Coming into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up. You can move around a little bit here. You can pedal out your legs, bend one knee towards the ground and then the other. You can do that motion with the breath if you like. Inhale, pushing both knees back towards straight. They don't ever need to be perfectly straight, just going in that direction. On an exhale, drop one knee down towards the mat. Both knees come pushing back towards straight, breathing in. And exhale, switch sides. Drop the other knee down towards the mat. Keep going like that a couple times, just getting the blood flowing through the knees and the legs. Check in with the shoulders here. You want to make sure your shoulder blades are sliding down the back towards the hips, out of the ears. Take a big breath and come all the way up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, sending your heels over to the right. Hips lean a bit to the right. Maybe you feel a nice stretch on the left side of your body. Back to center, tippy toes, big breath in. Exhale, dropping the heels down towards the left. Hips lean a bit to the left. Maybe you feel that stretch on the right side of your body. Back to center, tippy toes, big breath in. And push your heels down, straight back towards the mat as you breathe out. Feel that stretch on the back of the legs. Lift your right heel high, take a deep breath in. Exhale, step your right foot through between the hands, dropping the left knee down to the mat. Rise up on an inhale to low lunge. You can always find your balance with your hands on your knee to start. And when you're ready, lift the hands up overhead. Turn the pinkies in, feel the shoulder blades sliding down the back. Interlace your fingers, pointers up, take a deep breath in here. Exhale, gentle back bend, pushing the hips forward. Go really slow here, gentle with the neck. It's a balance challenge. Straight back up, breathing in. Exhale, twisting to the right. Left hand drops across the right knee, and the right arm is reaching back. Maybe your right arm lines up with the back leg. Maybe it's just reaching towards that direction. On your next breath in, lift your hands back up overhead. Exhale, release your hands down, framing the front foot. Plant your left hand right next to the right foot. Inhale, lifting the right arm high, open arm twist toward the side wall. Fingers are stretched out towards the sky. If it's okay on the neck, bring your gaze up towards your upper hand. Take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, release your right hand back down to the mat. Tuck your left toes under. Left knee pops up. Look forward, take a big breath in. Exhale, stepping the left foot up to the right, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Inhale to standing, bend your knees, roll your spine up one vertebrae at a time. Neck comes up last, and then float your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch, inhale, hands high. Interlace the fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the right. Straight back up, breathing in. And down to the left as you breathe out. Inhale to center. Standing back bend on your exhale, you can cactus your arms or bring your hands to your back pockets. Be real gentle with the neck here. Straight back up as you breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Hands can come through heart center, or you can swan dive down with your arms wide. Half lift, breathing in. Try to bring the torso parallel to the ground. Exhale, chaturanga, plant your hands, hop or step back to your high plank, upper push up. You can drop the knees down to the mat if you like here. Lower down halfway. Keep your elbows right next to the rib cage. Up dog or cobra, breathing and pulling the chest through the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Let's try that sequence on the left. Left heel comes high. Take a deep breath in. Step the foot through between the hands as you breathe out and drop the right knee down to the mat, rising up on an inhale to low lunge. You can always drop your hands down to the knee to help with the balance. Once you're ready, lift your hands up, turn your pinkies and feel your shoulders sliding down the back. Interlace your fingers, pointers up, take a deep breath in. Exhale, gentle back bend, go really slow here. Straight back up to breathe in. And exhale, twisting around towards the left. Right fingers drop across the left knee and the left arm reaches back. Maybe it lines up with the back leg. Maybe you're just reaching towards that direction. On your next inhale, lift your hands back up overhead. Exhale, release your hands down, framing the front foot. Plant your right hand right next to the left foot. Inhale, lifting the left arm high. Open arm twist, arms come perpendicular to the floor. That's okay on the neck. You can bring your gaze up towards your upper hand. Take one last deep breath in here. As you breathe out, release your left hand back down to the ground. Tuck your right toes under. Right knee pops up. Look forward. Take a big breath in. Exhale, stepping the right foot up to the left. Forward fold. You can always have blocks here underneath your hands if you like. Half lift, breathing in. Bring your hands to shins or float them over the ground. Forward fold as you breathe out, relaxing the upper body down. Inhale, just standing, bend your knees first. Slowly roll up the spine, stacking the vertebrae one at a time. Float your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch starting to the left first. Inhale, hands high. Interlace the fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down towards the left. Back up to center, breathing in. And to the right as you breathe out. Inhale, rising to center. Exhale, standing back bend. Go nice and slow. Straight back up on your breath in. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips, keeping the spine really long. Stay real strong in the legs. Half lift, breathing in, pull the shoulders down the back, opening up the chest. Exhale, chaturanga, plant your hands, hop or step back to your high plank. Lower down halfway, don't go below your elbows. Up, dog or cobra, breathing in, coming onto the tops of the feet, pull the chest through the shoulders. Exhale, roll over your toes, lift your hips up to downward facing dog. One last side citation. We're just going straight up and down this time, no side stretch. Bend your knees, look forward to your hands, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hop or step to the front of the mat, forward fold. Half lift as you breathe in. Forward fold, breathing out. Inhale all the way to standing, bending the knees. Let your arms dangle down till your head comes up, and then lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Mountain pose. Release your hands down to your sides. You can close your eyes here, just your clothing is needed. Get really comfortable. In mountain pose, you can have your big toes touching with some space between the heels, or you can have your feet kind of on two different train tracks, just like chair pose, whichever one feels better. Root down through the feet, open up your toes, lifting your toes up off the ground, and then set them back down on the mat, nice and wide. Maybe you can rock gently forward and back, not enough to make you lose your balance, just enough to really feel which parts of the sole of the foot are making contact with the ground. Maybe you can even rock side to side a little bit. And then find some stillness, plant your feet on the mat, rooting down through all those points of contact in the bottom of your feet. Knees are soft, straight, but not pushed all the way back and locked, because that makes you cut off your circulation. So you'll pass out if you push those knees back too much. Nice strong legs. Pull the shoulders down the back. Stretch the spine up towards the ceiling. Feel the crown of your head stretching straight up to the sky. In mountain pose, we imagine that our body is as solid as a mountain, immovable. Blink your eyes open. Inhale, lifting your hands up overhead. Exhale, diving forward. Nice long spine as you go down. Half lift to breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga, plant the hands, hop or step back to your high plank. Lower down halfway, bringing the soles of the feet parallel to the wall behind you as you're lowering down. Up, tiger cobra, breathing in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. Open out your feet, bringing the pinky toes to touch the outside edges of the mat. I'm going to come into a little down dog twist here. If you like, you can walk your hands, one handprint closer to the feet. Reach your right hand out and grab onto your left leg anywhere that feels good. Ankle, calf, or thigh is fine. Bring your gaze underneath the left hand and then check in with your hips. Sometimes your hips kind of want to lean over to the left. Send them right back to center between the feet. Release your right hand, look forward to set it back down in its spot on the mat. And switch sides. Left hand reaches out, grabs onto the right leg, anywhere that feels good. Ankle, calf, or thigh. Bring the gaze underneath the right arm and send your hips back to center, right between the feet. Release your left hand, look forward to set it back down in its spot, and then make your way back to your normal downward facing dog. I'm going to do a couple balancing poses here. Bend your knees, look forward to your hands, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hop or step between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Inhale, just standing, bending the knees, rolling the spine up, flowing the hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. I'm going to mirror you here, so I'll be doing the opposite side. Bring all weight to your left foot. I'm going to come into tree pose here. Right knee is pointing straight out to the side. Sometimes in tree pose, when we bring all weight to one foot, we kind of sink into the hips and push the hips over to that side where we have the weight on that one foot. Lift your hips up. Try to keep your hips centered right over the legs so you're not sinking into that left hip. And then find whichever foot placement you want for your right foot. You can keep the toes on the ground, setting the sole of the foot on the ankle. Raise the foot up so your heel comes right underneath the knee, or come all the way up on the thigh. Toes pointing straight down. Find your leg balance to start. You can keep your hands on your hips or bring your hands to heart center. Or if you'd like to include the hands, inhale, lifting your hands up overhead. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, release just your arms. Wrap your hands back behind you and grab for opposite elbows behind your back. Pull your arms down and back, opening up the chest. Before we release, just notice how your arms are crossed so you can cross them the opposite way the next time. Release your arms, release your leg, but keep that leg up. Interlace your fingers outside of the knee. You can stay right here if you're already feeling a challenge. If you want a little bit more, you can open out the right knee towards the right, bringing the left hand to the hip. And if you're feeling super flexible in that right leg, you can reach for the pinky toe edge of the foot and stretch that leg out, extending the leg. You definitely want to bring the left arm up to help with the counterbalance here. One last breath in here. And release. Shake it all out. There we go. Let's try it on the other side. All weight comes to the right foot. Left knee is pointing straight out to the side. Again, check in on that hip. Make sure you're not sinking into the hip. Keep that hip nice and straight. Toes can stay on the ground, sole of the foot on the ankle. Lift your heel up so your heel comes right underneath the knee. Or the last foot placement option is all the way up on the thigh. Toes pointing straight down. Find your leg balance to start, wherever that is. You can keep your hands here on your hips. Bring your hands to heart center. Or inhale, floating the hands up overhead. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release just your arms. Reach your arms back behind you, grabbing for opposite elbows, pressing your arms the other way, the opposite way. Pull your elbows down and back, open up the chest. Take one more deep breath in. And release. Keep your knee up. Interlace your fingers outside of the knee. If this is enough, just stay right here. It's already quite a challenge. If you want a bit more, bring your right hand to your hip and start to open out the left knee towards the left. And if you're feeling super flexible in that leg, you can reach for the pinky toe edges of the foot. Extend your leg all the way out. Definitely want to lift that right arm up to help with counterbalance here. Take one last big breath in and release. Shake it all out. Let's come into hand to foot pose. Feet come hip width distance apart on the mat. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, folding forward. Nice long spine as you go down. Once you find your edge, relax your head and neck. And we're going to lift up our toes and slide our hands underneath our feet. You can bend your knees as much as you need to get your hand all the way underneath that foot. Palm of the hand is facing the sole of the foot. And the toes are resting right in the crease of the wrist. Once you've got both hands underneath, really relax your head and neck, just letting them dangle down. You can find some stillness here. You can push both knees back towards straight. They never have to come perfectly straight. Just reaching in that direction. Feel that nice stretch on the back of the legs. Or you can find some movement. Bend one knee down and then the other. Get a little swing motion going on. Nod your head yes. Take a deep breath in. And shake your head no. Breathe it out. One more time. Nod your head yes. Deep inhale. Shake your head no. Exhale. Release your hands out from under your feet. Bring weight to your fingers to open out your feet even wider. Toes out, heels in. Bend your knees. Inhale, rising up to standing. Exhale, sitting right down into your deep squat. Bring your hands to heart center. Push your hips though, bending the knees. Open up your feet as much as you need to get your heels to touch the ground. Push your elbows into your knees, opening up the knees even wider. Stretch your spine up really long, sitting up nice and straight. Take one more deep breath in, sitting up even taller. And release as you breathe out to a seat. Hands come behind you, fingers pointing towards the hips. Gently windshield wiper the knees side to side. Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Bring the soles of the feet together. Knees are open out wide to the sides. Don't worry about how far down your knees are getting. Wherever you find your edge is fine. Bring the feet close. Interlace your fingers. Tuck up underneath the toes or just in front. Push down on your knees, lifting up on the spine. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips. You can open out your elbows again, pushing those knees down more with the elbows. Once you find your edge, relax your head and neck down, rounding out through the back. You can keep your hands on your feet here, or you can release your hands from your feet and crawl the fingertips forward. On your next breath in, lift your chest up. Bring your knees together. Once again, hands behind you, fingers pointing towards the hips. Windshield wiper the knees side to side to release the hips. And let's make our way into boat pose. Starting just by having the knees pointing out towards the sky, interlace your fingers outside of your knees and lengthen the spine. Sitting up really nice and straight. Your spine is never perfectly straight because you've got a natural curve in the spine, but you can imagine that you're straightening it out as much as you can. If this is enough, you can just stay right here. If you want more, tuck your fingers inside the creases of both knees and gently lean back to float the feet. Keep that spine nice and long. Again, you can stay right here, or if you want more, release the arms out to the sides. We're just going to hold boat pose for 3 to 5 more breaths. You can keep your legs where they are. You can try to straighten out those knees. That one's really hard. Makes me really start to shake. That's a good thing. Take one more deep breath in. And release. Drop your legs down to the ground. Once again, hands behind you. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. coming into a reverse table. Plant your feet flat on the mat, about hip width distance apart. Inhale to lift your hips up towards the sky. If it's okay on the neck, you can relax your head back. And exhale, release back down to the ground. 2 more times with the breath, inhaling to push the hips up. Relax the head back. And exhale, lowering back down again. Last time, this time we're going to hold it for a couple breaths. Inhale, lifting the hips up. You can relax your head back and just breathe here. One last big breath in. Exhale, release, and make your way all the way down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your legs, take a big breath in. Exhale, curling into a tight little ball, squeezing everything together. Release your head back down to the mat. Find your kneecaps with your hands, and this time try to do some circles the opposite way of how you did them the first time. If your knees were moving together, try to move your knees in opposite directions. And if your knees were moving in opposite directions at the beginning, you can move them in the same direction this time. And switch directions going the other way. Keeping your right knee into your chest, let your left leg slide back down to its spot on the mat. And then open out the right knee towards the right. You can try to find a 90-degree angle in the knee and the hip. If it's not exactly 90 degrees, that's okay too. Right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the knee to help it stay down. Bring your left hand out to the side and bring the gaze over to the left hand. On your next breath in, lift your right knee up to center. Exhale, crossing it over the body. Drop it down towards the left. Left fingers can tuck inside the crease of the knee to help it stay down. Right arm comes out to the side. Your right shoulder doesn't need to be touching the ground here. If it's okay on your neck, you can bring your gaze over to the right hand. Release your left hand back out to the side. Bring your right knee back into your chest. Left knee comes to join it. Wrap your arms around your legs. Take a big breath in. Exhale, forehead comes up to the knees, curling into a little ball. Release your head back down to the mat. Keeping the left knee up to the chest, let your right leg slide back down to its spot on the mat, and then open out the left knee towards the left. Left fingers can tuck inside the crease of the knee to help it stay down. Right arm comes out to the side, gaze comes over to the right hand. On your next inhale, lift your left knee up to center. Exhale, cross it over the body, dropping it down towards the right. Right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the knee to help it stay down. Bring your gaze over to your left hand to complete your twist. Release your right hand back out to the side. Bring your left knee back into your chest. Right knee comes to join it. Last time, wrap your arms around your legs. Take a big breath in. Exhale, curling up into a tight little ball. Squeeze everything together. And release, making your way to Shavasana, our final resting posture. This can be any comfortable laying down position you can find. You want to be super comfortable in Shavasana. Shavasana allows your body to absorb all the things that you just learned. Lift your chin up towards your chest, extending the neck, making sure you don't have any kinks in the neck, and then rock your head side to side, just letting your head fall back to its natural center point. Lift your heart up and pull the shoulder blades down the back. Close your eyes. Release your body. If you feel any tension anywhere, just imagine it melting out of you into the ground. Release your breath, making your way back to natural breathing. And release your mind, just watching your thoughts come and go like the ocean waves. Find a few moments of stillness to complete your practice today. Blink your eyes open. Start to make your way back up to a seat. Thank you so much for joining me today for yoga. Namaste.